Welcome back to Those Vegan Chefs. I'm Stefan, and this channel is dedicated to making you a better vegan cook. Today we're making vegan ramen. And honestly, I was a little scared to join the cult of ramen, but guess what? I'm all in. It's all about the broth, and today we're making two, plus we're making a brulee of tofu. That's right. See you in the video.
We're starting the ramen by creating a miso broth. I know this looks like a lot of ingredients. However, this is what is required to create a lavish broth full of depth, complexity, and flavor. Thinly slice the yellow onion. Ginger is bringing floral peppery notes, while the garlic is bringing warm earth notes. The layers are building. Simply smash the garlic cloves. Emulsified fat is a hallmark of a quality miso broth. Coconut oil will be emulsified in our broth, striking a luxurious balance. Sweetness can be teased out of any onion. The onion needs to be nurtured. The combination of time and temperature is the dedication necessary in this first step to extracting all of the onion's sweetness. More sweetness and a touch of salt coming from our yellow miso paste. Poultry seasoning brings a much-needed bump of depth, while mirin is our last layer of sweetness. The finishing touches rounding out this light, bright miso broth is a medium-firm tofu, acting as our protein source. Dried mushrooms bringing umami and earth notes. A kombu sheet bringing touches of the sea, followed with scallions for freshness. Bring the broth up to a boil, reduce the heat to a very low simmer, cooking for 45 minutes. Before blending the broth, remove the dried mushrooms, the kombu sheet, the scallions, and separately remove the tofu. Strain the miso broth. Apply pressure to the onions to extract as much broth as possible. Pureeing the tofu and the coconut oil at a high speed emulsifies all of the flavors, awarding us with an opulent miso broth. Contrast, that is what we are creating. The miso broth was patient, low heat, while this broth requires high heat and boldness. Caramelizing the red onions brings a toasted nutty aroma, umami and flavor. This is why so many recipes use onions as a foundation. Red miso paste, with its longer fermentation time, produces an assertive, earthy saltiness. Caramelizing the dark brown sugar adds a burnt sweetness to the broth. Sliced red beets act as an anchor with their deep red color and hint of bitterness, helping to alter the tofu into an earthy umami bite. There's nothing more satisfying than a braised shiitake mushroom that's meaty in flavor, yet tender to the bite. Bring the broth up to a boil. Reduce the heat to low before adding the tofu. Cover and cook for 45 minutes on a very low simmer. Remove the braised tofu. Remove the shiitake mushrooms and the beets. Set aside until plating. The strained broth will be dark, earthy, and aromatic, the perfect partner to our miso broth. Cooking the clamshell mushrooms is not overcomplicated or fussy. A hot pan, extra virgin olive oil, and salt. Sauté for 2 minutes. And it's that simple. Baby bok choy has been blanched in salted boiling water for 2 minutes. Dark brown sugar and kosher salt. This is how we're going to brulee the tofu. Sprinkle a generous amount of the brown sugar salt mixture on top of the tofu. Cover as much of the tofu as possible. Speed is of the essence when bruleeing the tofu. It's a battle between the moisture of the tofu and creating a crispy sugar exterior. The tofu is meant to be salty, sweet, and charred. Cook your ramen noodles according to the directions on the package. I cooked these noodles for 2 to 3 minutes, using a strainer to shake off any excess water before plating. When you combine the two broths, we are creating an estuary of ramen, coupling the miso broth with the dark tofu braising liquid, forging a full-bodied broth that delivers on all levels with every slurp. Gently slide the ramen noodles into the hot ramen broth. Garnish the ramen with baby bok choy, earthy sliced beets, soft braised shiitakes, simply sautéed clamshell mushrooms, and of course the co-star of the show, the brûlée tofu. This vegan ramen recipe is bright in flavor with a variety of textures. This is a perfect Saturday night dinner, so grab some sake and a few friends and you're all set.
The thing I love about this ramen dish is the time and effort we put into making the two broths. And it smells delicious, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and dig in. If you're inspired by this vegan ramen dish, check out our vegan pad thai recipe. Just as amazing. Hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next week. I'm gonna keep eating some ramen.